Hey guys, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com.
And together, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Good morning, boy.
Good morning, Homer.
Good morning to you. So, I got the hiccups for some reason this morning, and so we'll see how that goes.
When I get the hiccups, they shake my whole body, and when I get them, guaranteed, without fail, I'll get it 5 or 6 times during that day. I don't know what it is.
Awesome.
Hate them.
I hope that's not the case
I hope
here.
so, too.
So we're going to start out with some tobacco.
What?
I got a YABO, and we got a couple things to talk about today.
Sweet.
And today we're going back to the drugstore for some Dutch Masters Cherry Cavendish. Buy one, get one free.
That's how you know it's good.
That's right. I got a little bit of a cold. Can you smell that? I'm not much of a cherry smoker, and so if I have a cold, it's a perfect time to taste something that I don't normally smoke.
It's not as
Artificial.
yeah. Doesn't smell like Aldi cherry pies.
Right. It's a cherry liqueur. So
Fancy way of saying liquor.
all right, so we'll get that started, and I'm going to go into my YABO. And as soon as I open this, you'll all know why I bought this.
All of us?
Yes, all of you.
Just like everyone knew why I bought that aluminum crack pipe for $3.
Okay, different reason. I bought this not because I already had a big order sitting in my my checkout and went looking to see if there was any inexpensive pipes. That's how you ended up with yours, right?
You know what I bought yesterday?
No.
Should be arriving. Should be arriving today, actually.
No.
I'm really excited about it. I will tell you about it later. An alarm clock with a light, a Phillips lighting alarm clock.
So it's supposed to wake you up gradually?
Yeah, it starts to light up half an hour before the alarm part is set. And I have read reviews and reviews of people that have said that they are impossible to wake up. Say that it has absolutely changed their lives.
Really?
Yes, they've said that they were shocked. One guy reviewed it. Bless you.
Thank you.
One guy reviewed it, said on the second day he used it, he woke up before the alarm even went off. And he said he still
before the audio alarm.
Yeah. So it has 10 different light settings, and so it starts to brighten your room. It's supposed to emulate a sunrise, and then at the end of that 30 minutes, the audible alarm goes off.
Okay.
He said he was so afraid it wasn't going to work that he still set his 40 or so alarms that he has, because he just has a whole slew of them because he turns them off. And I've been having the same problem since having to get up at 6 a.m. I've been setting 3 or 4 alarms on my phone, but it's so easy to just turn those off when I'm dead to the world. So I got this. I'm going to set it on my nightside table. I'm really excited to report back to you how it works. My
problem is I wake up in the morning and I do this morning math, right? Where I'm half asleep and I look at the alarm and it's like, well, wait a second.
I got plenty of time.
I have plenty of time, and I'll reset it or hit the snooze button. And I actually bought an alarm clock for the house that I keep across the room, so I can't do that math in the morning. But when I was traveling last week, I made the mistake of having the alarm on my phone, having it right by my bed, and 2 out of 4 mornings I did morning math.
Really?
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's what happens.
If you don't use your phone while you sleep. I showed you guys a few months ago the Bluetooth headsets that I have that I wear when I'm listening to music. I wear those while I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Put one in my ear and I'll listen to. I've always listened to something. It used to be radio, old time,
shows.
Burns and Allen, Abbott and Costello, old radio.
Garrison Keillor.
News from Lake Wobegon, old radio shows. Recently, as I've grown up and fallen in love with a handful of shows, I'll listen to The Office, or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Arrested Development, Parks and Recreation. Those shows that I've seen, Community, seen tons and tons of times. I can see in my mind exactly what's happening just by listening to it. And I listen to that as I fall asleep. I only hear probably 5 minutes before I'm out cold, but I do that. That said, if you use your phone and have your phone set just as an alarm, the Carrot alarm app is really good.
Carrot?
Carrot is started as a to-do app, and it has a HAL robot on it that is smarmy and sarcastic and messes with you. It's hilarious. If you don't cross things off your list, if you haven't checked anything off your list in a couple of days, Carrot gets angry at you when you come back. Her temperament changes. She
Awesome.
just it's a great to-do list app, but they've come out with a weight loss app, which again harasses you, and a alarm clock. And so it'll have you do puzzles, and she'll ask questions and just mess with you. It's so funny when your alarm goes off that you just wake up naturally, and then you have to do these puzzles and things for the alarm to shut off. So
that's why you bought a new alarm clock?
Well, I can't use that because
Your Bluetooth.
that has to be running. That app has to be open.
Got it.
And so, because I use the other one, I can't use it.
I was having problems.
So I bought another alarm clock.
I was having problems with an alarm clock app that I was using because if I got a text or somebody liked something on Instagram, any kind of a pop-up on my phone would disable the alarm clock.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to go back to the default Apple alarm clock is the only one that'll work now with pop-ups. Interesting. All right, well, let's get to my YABO, because I got me a YABO, I got me a YABO, I got me a YABO. Hey, 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 hey.
You have something to open that YABO?
I do. I have my, got my pocket monkey. As we all do, right?
I know I do.
Because I was traveling, I don't have my knife in my pocket. As
Were you
I
able to
usually
fly
do.
with your pocket monkey?
Yeah, I've had no problem since the one was taken away from me in Chicago.
Good.
The one that the good folks at
TSA sold on their fire sale.
yeah. So here we go. What I've got here,
It's a box.
M-Tech USA, which means China.
Oh, you sure this isn't from Fast Tech? Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, you do.
It's a zombie killing machine.
Now I need a real knife. I got to get these zip ties off of there. Hold on. Talk. Talk among yourselves.
Oh, I was going to get you a knife. But fine. So last week I told a story about setting off the alarm at my business with my e-cig. What I forgot to mention, fire department came out. The general manager who was with me was totally useless. I asked him, what should I do? He said, I don't know. And he was working on fixing my computer, and he didn't seem to care. It didn't faze him one bit. I had to call the owner, let them know, hey, it's a false alarm. Everything's fine. The fire department came. I told them, they pulled up, and I said, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry to bother you. It's just a false alarm, but I don't know how to shut the alarm off because I'm new. Well, I was able to silence it, but I didn't know how to shut it off because I'm new. And they said, oh, were you cleaning? I said, yeah, something like that. He said, don't worry about it. It happens all the time because they're particle detectors. If you spray Lysol into them, they'll go off. And so they came in and showed me what I needed to do to turn the alarm off when the fire department's on the way. And then I had to tell this embarrassing story the next day about how I had just told my employee, don't be an idiot, don't vape in here because you'll set off the alarm, and I did it.
Well, you were proving to them.
I know. Now I know
correct.
for sure. He came in that next morning and started vaping in the other part of the office. And I said, no, no more. Vaping is banned. No more. Don't do it. That is awesome.
So there we go. I bought myself a hatchet. When I bought that hatchet that was a double peace pipe hatchet, I wanted a hatchet. I was not really looking for it to be a peace pipe. What are you doing?
Here we go.
Just strap those
Problem solved.
Peace pipe hatchet.
Come on, zombies, come get some.
I'll smoke you. Now, what I like about this, I like the fact that it's got a broad axe style of head on it. It's supposed to be very sharp. It is 440 stainless, I believe.
Is it sharp?
440 stainless. That's a good
Is
question.
it currently sharp?
We should find that out. What do we have that
Could
we
you
can...
touch it?
Well, yeah, it's actually pretty sharp. So it's sharp along here. It's sharp along the back as well.
That's kind of cool.
They've made some cutouts to lighten it up. It is a continuous length all the way through the tang.
Yeah.
What I expect not to like is the cord that's on there, the paracord. But my plan was, I was looking at other hatchets like this.
Not even really real paracord.
No, it's not. Other hatchets like this that had a solid wood handle or a plastic handle on it, and the price was crazy expensive. And I thought, this for less than $20 with Amazon Prime, I'll buy this and I'll just put my own handle on it. So that's a project that I'll do in the future. But I don't expect to be cutting down trees. That's the thing about a hatchet like this. It's not really an axe. It's
But
designed,
can you if you wanted to?
if I needed to? Yes, if I needed to, I could. But it's more of a
Zombie killing.
zombie killer. Yeah.
I mean, if the green handle doesn't scream zombie killer, I don't know what will. Nope.
There we go. As long as a zombie
That-
is made of something softer than this beam
I say,
here.
that will hold up to about 3 of those. So you've got 2 left. You've got 2 left on this point before it flattens out, that you can poke it into something. Already, it's starting to show wear and tear. That's cool though. So does it have any?
Probably not.
All right, you're gonna have to.
Probably so.
Okay.
Yeah. I expect I'll have to drill some holes.
You should just rip this sucker off right now.
We'll do it. I intend to not use it. So go ahead.
Okay.
Anyway, it does come with a holster of sorts. If you were going to carry this around, I can't imagine that I will, but at least it'll cover the blade when not in use.
Yeah.
And we'll see if I have to do some drilling here.
I bet you will.
Probably so. Yeah, unless that's the exact same handle, exact same, probably laser cut blank that they put the other handles on, in which case then it might have holes.
That's true.
You see holes?
Not yet.
That wasn't helping.
Nope.
All right, so while Boyd's doing that, we'll talk about something else. A number of years ago, I read a really good book, a business book, a selling book, called How to Be a Rainmaker, written by a guy named Jeffrey Fox. And because of that, I went to Amazon to see what other books that Jeffrey Fox had written. And I discovered that he wrote this book, How to Be a Great Boss.
This is going to be another one of those things that I'm going to show you how amazing this is, and you probably can't get it.
No, you can get this.
Right.
I ended up buying this one on eBay, and it turned out when it came to me, it's a draft copy. It's the kind of copy that a book company would send out to editors and to reviewers. So it's got some notes on the actual publication date, and it will be hardback, and so on and so on. And I found this to be a really good, interesting book. I ended up loaning this to the president of my company. In fact, I got a Post-it note here from him talking about enjoying the book, and that he should have gotten it back to me some time ago, but he was reading it. And I ended up buying one of these for Boy when he took on his current job. But just to give you an idea of some of the contents of this, yeah, no holes.
No holes. It's a weird. That's solder. Is that solder?
Yeah, that's been welded right there.
Yeah. This is two pieces.
2 pieces.
Bummer.
Huh. Well, if they welded it right, it's not a worry. Anyway,
Well, wait, my favorite part, right there.
I can't read it. Oh, U.S. design,
USA design.
handcrafted in China. Yeah, I figured as much.
That's awesome. The handcrafted China part is much smaller. It's a much smaller font than the U.S. made design.
You know what else this looks like it'll be good for? Bubbles.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep interrupting rudely.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be handy, though, when you're blowing bubbles around people that keep wanting to take your bubble wand from you. Anyway, some of the topics in here companies do what the boss does. The customer is the real boss. Groom 'em or broom 'em. That's advice on working with employees. The new broom need not sweep clean.
I don't know what that means.
That means if you're a new boss, don't go in and make sweeping changes until you know what you're doing, you know what talents you have. You may have people that are very talented, they're just in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Right? Hire slow, fire fast is a quick chapter. The chapters in these are like 3-4 pages long, which is why it's so small. It's a really interesting book. There's a number of different rules. Don't win the office pool. That was advice I was given by an old boss of mine who advised me, because I don't gamble. I don't follow sports. There's no point in it. His advice was, find opportunities where you can participate in some of the office activities like that. But as a boss, you should make sure you never win. Because, it doesn't foster goodwill among your staff if the boss is winning and gloating.
Yeah.
But they do like it if the boss is involved in things like
losing.
that. And losing. Yeah, exactly. But just for example, the very first chapter is the great boss, a simple formula, 10 things. And I thought we could talk about these. All right. Number 1, only hire top-notch, excellent people. Okay? That kind of goes, again, into that chapter about hire slowly. Make sure that you've got a fit, because a misfit it's not only bad for, like, in sales with the customers they're interacting with, the reputation it gives your company when you have the wrong people out there, but also the camaraderie among your...
The culture.
Yeah, in the culture. Number 2, put the right people in the right job and weed out the wrong people. Number 3, tell people what needs to be done. I made that mistake early on. First time I was a manager, I had some guys that just weren't doing what they should be doing. And I remember saying to a couple of them during job reviews that, they were kind of pushing back because they were asking, well, you never told me to do that, whatever it was. It's like, I shouldn't have to tell you to do that. I thought I hired an adult. Here I was, a 24-year-old man with a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old guys working for me, but I broke that rule.
Yeah.
I assumed that they knew what was in my head, because of course what I'm thinking is what's right. But they were doing what they thought was right.
Yeah. You held them to expectations that they didn't know were on them.
That's exactly right. So, you tell people what needs to be done. Tell people, this is another one, tell people why it needs to be done. Okay, so help them understand what the motivation is.
Because then they'll be more likely to see it in the future.
Number 5, leave the job up to the people that you've chosen to do it. Because you know what? If 2 of you are needed to get it done, 1 of you is redundant, right?
Yeah.
And so if you hired that person, and if it's the right person, let them do the job that you've hired them to do. Number 6, this is me, train your people. Train them. Again, make sure that they have the tools that they need to get the job done. Number 7, listen to the people. Okay? You have hired people that have experiences and wisdom and talent. You don't have all the answers, and listen to your people. Number 8, remove frustration and barriers that fetter the people.
Fetter is a word that we don't use often enough.
Well, I've already used it once today,
and so have I. I think we are exponentially increasing the use of fetter.
So fetter is to dice them into small pieces and to batter them and fry them, right? I had some delicious fetters.
YouTube Pipe community, I expect you to integrate fetter. That's a challenge. Mark for the week. Challenge. Challenge of the week. Use fetter in one of your videos.
What is fettering you today? Again, in this situation, especially like when you're talking about salespeople that are operating in a territory away from others, and they're really independent, to put on those people excessive paperwork, spreadsheets, things that, hey, there's a reason why they're salespeople, right? Yeah. They have the kind of personality that needs to be with other people and should blossom in that environment. But if they've got to spend hours upon hours doing analysis and things like that, that you're not going to get the most out of those people, and they're going to get frustrated. So, remove any of those frustrations and anything that would cause those people to be less productive.
Yeah.
Number 9, inspect progress. Okay? Inspect it. And that's telling you that you're wanting to make sure that you're setting goals and that you're measuring to those goals. Even if the goal is something very, very simple. Again, it goes back to people understanding what the mission is. And number 10, say thank you privately and publicly.
Yeah.
Some managers make the mistake of not letting everyone know that someone's done a great job. Others make the mistake of spending too much time pointing out that this person always does a great job. Why can't you all be like Seth? No. No. We don't do that. You don't do that with your children, right? So, take the time to really truly give thanks to your employees for the work that they're doing, because they're carrying the mission forward on your behalf. Theoretically, you've cloned yourself. They know what it is that needs to be done. They know they're being measured to it. You're letting them alone to do it, and when they do it, thank them.
Yeah.
I think that's great. There's a whole bunch more in this book, and I think maybe we'll talk about some of the other chapters at a later date. But I highly recommend, if you are a supervisor or if you desire to be a supervisor, see if you can get a hold of that book, Jeffrey Fox, How to Be a Great Boss. So, boy, you were telling me that you did a test recently. What is that?
Yeah, and I can't remember if I've mentioned it here or not, but
I don't think so.
With our church, as part of the becoming a member class, they had us do the Strengths Finders 2.0 assessment.
Say that slower. What?
Strengths Finder 2.0 assessment. It is it's an online test that you take. It takes 20-30 minutes. You have to pay for the test or pay for the book that accompanies the test. The book is usually cheaper than the test. So you can get the book online on Amazon for $15. I think the test is $20 to take. And
is it worth taking the test and not reading the book?
There's nothing in the book but a overview of what all of the different... It breaks it down into, I believe, 36 different strengths. And the book has just descriptions about the strengths, where the strengths really shine, what people with these strengths need to be cautious about. So, for instance, I was talking to a friend the other day. His strength is encouragement and seeing the I think it's potentiality is what it is. Seeing the potential in other people. Well, the caution with that is sometimes that people with that as a strength are likely to encourage people towards things that may not be the best things for them. So they're encouraging them
in areas where they don't have strengths.
Right. So they're encouraging them. They see potential there, but it may not be the best thing for the person to pursue that potential. And so what I really like about this is it's based off of a whole lot of research. I believe they did Barna research. They've worked in big companies, small companies. They've presented this to whole teams. And what I really like is part of the philosophy is based off of a test that they did. I might misrepresent it, but this is what I remember from what I heard. They did a test. They offered a reading test at a college, and they had two classes that they were offering. It's the same class, but they took students and grouped them up into two groups. You had the slower readers, the students that can read an average of 300 words a minute. And then you have the faster readers, the students that are already reading 700, 800 words a minute. And they gave them a 8-week-long reading course, speed reading course.
A course on speed reading?
Yes.
A course on comprehension?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's not important. Not important to the story.
All right.
Probably speed reading, though. What matters is the speed. So at the end of this course, they found that the students that were reading at a 300 word per minute reading level initially had a little bit more than doubled their reading speed to about 700 words a minute. That's amazing. The students who were already reading at a 700 word a minute were reading at a 3,500 word per minute.
Wow.
So they quadrupled their reading speed. And so they've seen this, they've done things like this, experiments like this in different areas, and what they have seen is people that already have an aptitude to a thing are able, if they put in more effort to mastering that thing, they're able to reach exponential results a lot faster than someone who has a weakness in that thing. So students that are good in math are able to become math whizzes with more practice and help than students that struggle in math. And so the business philosophy of this book is we need to stop trying to take our people and
mold
trying to get them to, we need to stop trying to buttress our weaknesses and really start focusing on reinforcing our strengths. And so you take this test and it spits out your top 5 strengths from this list of 36. And then you can take that to kind of, figure out, okay, how can this apply to what I'm doing? How can I use this in my work? For the church, it was how can we use this together as a community? So you find my wife, her strengths are almost purely academic. She is a phenomenal, I think one of her strengths was knowledge, research. She is an input machine. And she one of her other strengths is being able to take that input and output it in a great way. She's a teacher. She's excellent. My strengths, we got them right here, were individualization, which is the ability to see people as individuals. The opposite of that, and I don't know the exact name, but it's generalization, where someone sees that, hey, we're all the same. I recognize we're all the same. However, your problems, your feelings, your emotions, your X, Y, and Z experiences are different. That's individualization. Strategic thinking, being able to see a lot of moving parts and see how they can work and formulate a plan, which is why whenever we're preparing to do something, I like to take a step back, figure out what it is that we're going to do before executing. Whereas
you're talking about my parents being in town again, aren't you?
That's it. One of the strengths on the list is being an executor, and so I've got friends that for them it drives them crazy to spend time talking about something. They just want to start doing it. For me, I like to take back, figure out how we can do the thing the best way. Positivity, I'm pretty optimistic. I can see positive things in a lot of negative situations. Activators are really, really good at starting projects. They're really good at
pulling the trigger.
That's it, and making things happen. And then woo is my last strength, and that stands for winning others over. So the ability to make friends with anybody. So a couple of mine are really people focused. The individualization, woo, and I think positivity also plays into it, are all focused on people. So one of my strengths is being able to relate to people, being able to make friends with people that I've just met, and then couple that with activator. I'm also really, really gifted at getting people to rally behind an idea. That's the strategic part, and then start something from that idea. So I'm often the one that says, hey, let's have a game night. Let's do the, I'm the organizer of a lot of these events with friends, family, because that's just a strength of mine. But
for those of you who are sitting and watching and you hear people talk about, hey, we went on this great canoe trip. We went hunting. We got into a contest building a clock for a shop. And you think, gosh, I wish that someone would invite me to do those sort of things. Too few of us actually start things like that. Yeah. And somebody's got to just take the bull by the horns and say, I want to do that. I want to go camping. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going.
Yeah.
And also it'd be great to find the kind of person who can organize
Right.
and get them on board as well.
Yeah, so within the church, we've had. I was looking over everyone that's taken the test. There are about 25 results. I'm the only person that has activator in the top 5 in the whole church so far, and but the weakness with an activator strength, and I can attest to it firsthand, is I'm really good about starting things, really bad about seeing them come to fruition, or about seeing them out to the end.
So what do you?
I get bored with them.
What would be the gift then that someone would have to be that person that would get it done?
That's another strength is like the fortitude or seeing things through. There's strength for like support of ideas, and then kind of the strengths fall kind of like type A personality strengths a little bit.
Yeah.
And so some of those are stick-withitude, making sure things happen. So for the way it works then as a team, and why this is a cool thing to do within a community, within a family, within a work team, is you can see how these strengths can play together. So, the analytical people probably need to stay off of the phones and stay away from the customers, whereas the people with woo need to be front and center with the people. And I'm the guy that ideation is another one, coming up with ideas. I'm the guy that the people with an ideation strength need to come to help start the project, launch the project, but then there's someone else that I need to hand the project off to make sure it happens.
Very interesting.
And so you can see how it plays out. It would be excellent if you could get a full report of all of the strengths or where you fall on the whole spectrum. It doesn't do that. It just gives you your top 5. And in part, that's on purpose, because their argument is stop focusing on the things that aren't your top 5 strengths.
This does go back to one of the challenges I have as a trainer, because you want to bring everybody along. You want to have those guys and gals that aren't getting something. You want them to get it. Mm-hmm. But while it's good to make sure they have enough insight that they understand, why something is important to the company, but if they have other strengths, and this goes back to like elementary school, where you got a kid that's just struggling with math, but they're maybe very artistic or just wonderful with language. And what do we do with those kids? We make them stay late after school and go to summer school training and do online training to do math. And not that they shouldn't have the fundamentals. They certainly should. But it's really a waste of talent. And as much as I hate the communists, I really do, one of the things that they do that has some wisdom to it is they test and test and test kids to figure out where do their strengths lie to help guide them in that direction. Now, in those cases, the guiding is not a choice. Yeah. You get to do this. And there's where I think, I have that separation.
Sure.
But
well, because a lot of people are passionate about doing things that they really are bad at. Just watch any episode of American Idol.
Yeah, I'm going to say the singers. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's interesting. Can you share the name of the book and all that information in the doobly-doo?
I'll do that, and I'll post a link to see their websites where they've taken the different synopsises of the strengths. And I'll put those in there.
I'll take this test. I'll read the book.
Good.
I'll take the test. And
we'll
bring this topic.
There's not really much of a book to read. Okay. The book is nice. The book is nice if you're doing it as a team, because the book has all of the descriptions of all of the strengths. That's it. So there's no narrative. There's no, this is how you can apply it to your workplace.
Right.
Nothing like that. There might be a supplemental book, but it's nice if you're working as a team, because someone says, "Hey, I'm an activator." You can look up in your book what that is and how you can work together with them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like this sort of thing. I don't know about you guys. If you've watched this long, I guess you're interested in this too. We'll bring this topic back up again, and let us know in the comments section if you already know where your gifts lie. It'd be kind of cool to know. Here in our community, there might be ways that we can rely on one another, maybe accomplish something interesting. Who knows?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's wrap this up.
It's wrapped. Later, guys.
All right, guys. Make it a great week.
Bye.